This is the construct. It's our loading program. We can load anything from clothing to equipment, weapons, training simulations, anything we need.
And just think of these as databases. Remember, we're only talking about data streams. Think of a big database and you get to query the database. You query it with your intent.
I, in my stories and novels, often write about counterfeit worlds, semi-real worlds, as well as deranged private worlds, inhabited often by just one person, while meantime the other characters either remain in their own worlds throughout or are somehow drawn into one of the peculiar ones. This theme occurs in the corpus of my 27 years of writing. At no time did I have a theoretical or conscious explanation for my preoccupation with these pluriform pseudo-worlds, but now I think I understand. What I was sensing was the manifold of partially actualized realities lying tangent to what evidently is the most actualized one, the one which the majority of us, by consensus gentium, agree on.
That's how you query the database. Now you can go into the future probable realities and you can look around and you can follow the probability lines and you can get off the main probability and go through anywhere you want. You can change things and say, well, if I change this, how does that change the probabilities? This is a very nice system. It'll follow your intent. It'll recalculate those probabilities and show you what that might be. That's a pretty handy tool, isn't it?
Information is forever. Well, now we have a very funny little paradox. On the one hand, the minus first law of physics says that bits are never erased. On the other hand, when Alice crawls into the black hole and falls behind the horizon, as far as Bob is concerned, her bits have disappeared from the world. So in effect, for all practical purposes, for all physics purposes, Bob sees a world in which information is erased. Can this be right? This was Hawking's central point in 1976 when he created something that came to be known as the information paradox. It was an extremely deep observation.
You can do the same thing in the past. You can go back along our history thread, like you could go to, and say, well, what would have happened if Adolf Hitler had won World War II? If he was the winner, and we were the loser, what would have happened there? Well, you can find that out. It'll recalculate those states, and what it'll do is it'll pick every probable thing that would have happened by all the people there. All the people like you and I who were there then are modeled as, as statistical models. Well, you say that's tough, modeling a person as a statistical model. Well, it's tough for us, but it's not tough for a database that knows every thought we've ever had, every action we've ever taken, every intent we've ever mustered, every feeling we've ever had, because that's all part of the record. So you can make a pretty good model when you have that sort of database, and it doesn't just necessarily go for this life experience. It can go for a lot of life experiences. That's one heck of a database on you. You didn't know you had a record like that. You don't have to do what your model might instead was most probable. You can do something really bizarre if you want to. That works. And actually most of us do, some of the time, do things that are bizarre. That's our right to do that, and when it does, it recalculates. So you might wonder about that. How would you know that you're in these realities? Well, when people have precognitive dreams, basically, while in that dream state, they've gotten some data out of this future probable reality. Right? That's where they get that from. But they don't know that's where they are. It's just an experience. Until you are able to go there enough times that you get the lay of the land, you know what you're doing, you know how it works, you know how to access data in a very particular way, then you just stumble around in these places and you don't know. So that's why you get a lot of confusion. You won't know whether you're in our past history, when you're in what happened, what didn't happen, what could have happened, or where else. If you just wander around in here aimlessly, then you will get a lot of pictures. You'll see a lot of stuff. But exactly what you're seeing, was it something that was on our history thread, or one of those things that could have happened but didn't? That's why your data is sometimes hard to deal with.
Where the hell's this God of yours?
It's funny Lieutenant Dan said that, because right then, God showed up. Now me, I was scared, but Lieutenant Dan, he was mad.